Hi students, how are you? I hope all are fine. Okay, keep inside your house, do your homework and your studies. Okay, then in previous class we know a lot of information about plants, isn't it? What we learned, first of all we learned the habit, then plant habit, after then root system and shoot system. Now we going to see about leaf. Okay, before we learn it, I recall the some points. Okay, after then I teach that. Okay, what is that? First of all, we learn the root system. What are the characteristics? Root is a non-green substance. After then, root cannot have the nodes and internodes, but should have the nodes and internodes. Okay. Then two types of roots is there. One is the taproot, and another one is a fibrous root system. Okay. Then some main function of the root is observation of minerals from the soil and help to anchor the plant family in the soil. And secondary function also root done. What is that? Except from the primary function, that all function is called secondary function. For example, breathing, some root help to breathing, so that is a secondary function. Then mechanical support, storage, these are the secondary function of the root system. After then, shoot system. Here also, shoot system have a two type of function. One is a primary function and another one is a secondary function. So here the shoot system have a particular function is provide the support and bears. This is the first and primary function, and transport the water and mineral nutrition to other parts of the root. These are the primary function. The secondary function is a food storage, pollination, that is a reproduction, water storage, buoyancy, photosynthesis, projection, support. These are the secondary function. Normally, the photosynthesis is the function of function of leaves. But here, some stems have a chlorophyll. Therefore, these type of stems done the photosynthesis. Therefore, it is a secondary function of the shoot system. Then after we learn the buds. So, buds is a very colorful part of the plant, and it's a very attractive part of the plant. So, okay, somebody's more plant grow especially for buds only. For example, rose, lily, these are the very lovable flower to us. Okay, so somebody's grow the plant especially for the buds. So in plants, buds is a very important and attractive parts of the plant. Then we learn the types of stems. Lot of stems is there, except then decurrent, caudex, culm. These are the types of the stems. After then we learn the function of stems also. Then some stems modified some other like subaerial stem modification, underground stem modification. The stem is present under the soil, even though that is not called the root, because that is not have the nodes and internodes. And also the stems have the some chlorophylls and nodes and internodes also have. Therefore, the root the stem is inside the soil is present, even though it's called the stem. After then we learn the stem branching. So these are we learned in previous class. Now we going to see about leaf. Okay, so leaf also very important part of the flowers, part of the plants, because leaf only have the chlorophyll. So by the help of chlorophyll only, plant and the photosynthesis. Through the photosynthesis only, plant get the feed. Okay, so leaf also very important part of the plants. Leaves are green, thin, flattened lateral outgrowth of the plant. Okay, primary photosynthesis synthetic organs. In stem also done the photosynthesis. In previous class we learned the secondary function of the stem is photosynthesis, because of some stem, not all stem, some stems have a chlorophyll. So by the help of chlorophyll, stem also done the photosynthesis. But primary photosynthetic organ is a leaf only. Then main site of the transpiration. What is meant by transpiration, and what is difference between the photosynthetic and transpiration? Photosynthesis means by the help of chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight, done the and product the sterile steel is called as photosynthesis. Okay, but in transpiration only transport the water only, that is called transpiration. Okay, so photosynthetic and transpiration is have the more differentiate between them. Okay, so don't confuse yourself. Photosynthesis is different from the transpiration, but little similar is having. Okay. Characteristics of leaf. Leaf is a lateral appendage of the stem. Then it is born at the node of stem. We know very well what about node. Okay. So these all are leaf come from node of stem only. It is exogenous in origin. Then it has limited growth. It does not possess apical bud. It has three main parts, namely leaf base, petiole, lamina. Okay, these are the main parts of the leaf. First of all, we learn plant. After then, the parts of the plant. What are the parts of the plant? Root, shoot, stem, bud, flowers, leaves. These are the parts of the plant. Now we learn parts of the leaves. That is the leaf base, petiole, lamina. Okay, again I said leaf is a lateral appendage of the stem. It's born at the node of stem. Each and every leaves come from the node of the stem only. It is exogenous in origin. Exogenous means well developed origin. It has limited growth. It does not possess apical bud. It has three main parts, namely leaf base, petiole, lamina. Again you said leaf base, petiole, lamina. These are the main three parts of the leaves. Okay, can you understand? Now we are going to see about function of the leaf. In previous class also we learned root, then stem, then bud. So these all have two types of function. One is primary function and another one is secondary function. Likewise, the leaf also has two types of function. One is a primary function and another one is secondary function. What is the primary function? Transpiration, gaseous exchange, projection of bud, next photosynthesis, conduction of water and dissolved solution. Okay, transpiration is nothing but only transfer the water through the leaf, that is called transpiration. Okay, then gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange means plants also breathing. That process is called gaseous exchange. Okay, that process done by leaves only. Then projection of bud. Some plant have buds with leaves around it. Okay, here that is projection of bud. Photosynthesis. We know very well about photosynthesis. In the presence of sunlight, by the help of chlorophyll, to produce some type of food material, that is called photosynthesis. Again I said, in the presence of sunlight, by the help of chlorophyll, to produce some item of food items produced. So that is called as photosynthesis. Okay. Then conduction of water and dissolved solution. This conduction from soil to all the part of the plant. Okay. First of all, stem only conduct the water. After that, leaves also conduct to other part of the leaves. So it also one of the function of leaves. Then secondary function. What are the secondary function? First one is storage. Leaves also store some food material, that is storage. Then projection. Then support. Reproduction. Okay, these all are function is secondary function. What are the primary function? Transpiration, gaseous exchange, projection of bud, photosynthesis, conduction of water and dissolved solution. What are the secondary function of leaf? Storage, projection, support, reproduction. These are the function of leaves. Okay. Parts of the leaf. In study the characteristics we learn it. Parts of the leaf. What are that? Leaf base, that is called as hypopodium. Then petiole, that is called as mesopodium. Then lamina, that is called as epipodium. Okay, these are the parts of the leaf. This is very important. What is that? What are the parts of the leaf? Leaf base, petiole, lamina. These are the important parts of the leaf. Leaf base. This is called as hypopodium. The part of the leaf attached to the nodes of the stem is called a leaf base. Okay, already we learned each and every leaves born at the node of the stem. That like point is called leaf base. Okay, so these leaf bases two type. One is a pulvinous, then another one is a sheathing leaf base. Okay, pulvinous is nothing but in leguminous leaf base become broad and swollen, which is known as pulvinous. For example, clitoria. Okay, look at this picture. This is a clitoria. Then second one is sheathing leaf base. Sheathing leaf base is nothing but in many monocot families such as Araceae, Musaceae, Gingiberaceae and Poaceae. The leaf base extends into the sheath and claps part or whole of the internode. Such leaf base also leave permanent scars on the stem when they fall. Okay, look at this picture. This is an example for sheathing leaf base. Okay, so leaf base is a two type. Okay, this is very important. What is that? Pulvinous, sheathing leaf base. Then petiole, strip or mesopodium. Petiole is also called as strip or mesopodium. It is the bridge between lamina and stem. Okay, already we learned the leaves, all the leaves born at the node of the stem. That is one of the point. Then lamina. Lamina is nothing but the leaf colorful parts is called lamina. In later we learn it. Okay, now you just remember this word only. Lamina. Okay, now the stem parts of the node, then lamina. Between the connection of bridge is called petiole. Okay, for example, ficus, hibiscus. These are the example for petiolate. Okay, look at this picture. This is the example for petiole. This is a ficus. Okay, then leaves that do not possess petiole is said to be sessile. That is example for calotropis. That is example for calotropis. Okay, so look at this picture. That is a calotropis. So the lamina shows great variation in its space, margin, surface, extra, then color, venation and incision. So lamina also very important. In the later we learn it. Now we are going to learn about lamina. Okay, before while we study the petiole, we learn it. What is petiole? The stem and the lamina. Inter-between connection is called petiole. Now we learn the lamina. Lamina is nothing but the expanded flat green portion of the leaf is called blade or lamina. The green colored portion is called blade or lamina. Okay, so it is the seat of photosynthesis, gaseous exchange, transpiration and most of the metabolic reaction of the plant. Here only done the photosynthesis, gaseous exchange, transpiration and most of the metabolic reaction of the plant. Okay, now you can understand most of the part is leaf is lamina only, because that is a green in color and here only done the photosynthesis, gaseous exchange, transpiration and most of the metabolic reaction also done. So lamina is a very important and most of the place occur that. Okay, then lamina shows great variation in its shape, margin, surface, texture, color, venation and incision. According to these variation help to arrange some taxonomy. Okay, so in each and every flowers or each and every plants, lamina safe only help to taxonomy. Okay, because of the lamina only shows great variation in its shape, margin, surface, texture, color, venation and incision. Okay, what is that? Shape, margin, surface, texture, color, venation and incision. Okay, do you understand? Stipules. The leaf base bear one or two lateral appendage called stipules. Leaves with stipules are called stipulate. Okay, stipule is nothing but in the most of the dicotyledons plant, the leaf base bears one or two lateral appendages called stipules. But this stipules with the leaves is called stipulate. Okay, then leaves without stipules are called exstipulate or exstipulate. Okay, then the main function of the stipules is to project the leaf in the bud condition. Here its a major function is a projection only. Okay. Now we are going to see about venation. While we study the lamina, we learn it. The lamina shows greatest variation in the shapes, margin, surface, texture, color, venation and incision. First of all, we learn the venation. Okay, the arrangement of vene. Vene is nothing but the phylum and xylem is called vene. Okay, vene and venets on the leaf, blade or lamina is called venation. There are two types. One is reticulate venation. Another one is parallel venation. Reticular venation, parallel venation, similarly, but little bit only variation. Okay. So now we are going to see about reticulate venation and parallel venation. Look at this picture. First picture is a reticulate venation. Second picture is a parallel venation. Can you understand the difference between them? Okay. First of all, reticulate venation. The leaf contains a prominent midbrain from which several secondary veins arise that branch and anastomers like a network. This is called as reticulate venation. Then parallel venation is nothing but veins run parallel and do not form a prominent reticulum. So here root form a prominent reticulum, but here not a prominent, it's a parallel. That's why it's called as parallel venation. All veins is run out the parallelly. So this is called as parallel venation. But here all veins is run out the prominent reticulum. That's why it's called as reticulum venation. Okay, now how you understand difference between them? Okay. Types of reticulate venation. First one is pinnately reticulate venation. It is a unicostate. Okay. Second one is palmately reticulate venation. That is called as muticostate. Okay. Here the palmately reticulate venation also divided two types. One is a divergent type and another one is a convergent type. Okay. First of all, we come the pinnately reticulate venation. In this type of venation, there is only one midprint in the center which forms many lateral branches. In leaf have two branches. One is a center branch. Then from the central branches comes out the lateral branches. Okay. So here only one central branch and based on the central branches come out many lateral branches. That is called as pinnately reticulate venation. Example for them pinnately reticulate venation, Magnifera indica. Magnifera indica is nothing but it's a mango tree. Okay. Then palmately reticulate venation. In this type of venation, there are two or more principal veins. That is a central midbrain vein. Okay, arising from single point and they provide them towards or upwards. There are two types. One is a divergent type and another one is a convergent type. Okay, when all principal veins originate from base and diverge from one other towards the margin of the leaf as in Corica papaya. Corica papaya is an example for divergent type. Then second one is a Zispus is an example for convergent type. Okay, when the veins converge to the apex of the leaf, converge, underline that word in your book, converge to the apex of the leaf as in Indian plum or pale leaf. Okay, these are the example for the convergent types of venation. I already said parallel venation also divided two types, that is a pinnately parallel venation and palmate parallel venation. Okay, so here also palmate parallel venation divided to two types. Similarly, divergent type and convergent type. Okay, both are same but a little bit different according to that differentiate between the reticular venation and parallel venation. Okay, now come the pinnately parallel venation. What is that? When there is a prominent midbrain in the center from which arise many veins perpendicularly and run parallel to each other. That is an example for ginger. Ginger plant is an example for pinnately parallel venation. Then the palmate parallel venation is several veins arise from the tip of the petiole. What is petiole? Again we
in later we'll study. Petiole is nothing but that is a bridge of the lamina and that is a leaf base. Okay, so here every veins arise from the petiole, that is called as palmate parallel venation. Okay, these are the two types. One is a diverge types and another one is a converge type. All principal veins originate from the base and diverge, underline that word, base and diverge towards the margin of the leaf as in fun palm. That is a diverge type. Then converge type. All principal veins run parallel to each other from the base of the lamina and join at the apex as the bamboos, rice, water. These all are plants is example for converge type of parallel venation. Okay. Okay, now we are going to see about phylloxety. Phylloxety, the mode of arrangement of leaves on the stem is known as phylloxy. Okay, now in previous we learned the types of leaves. Now all the leaves, how would arrange the stem of the plant, that is called as pyrrhitoxy. Okay, pyrrhitoxy. These also four types. One is alternate, opposite, terminate, then alternate. Okay, so these are the four types. Here the phylloxety is a Greek word. This is meaning is leaf arrangement. This is meaning is leaf arrangement. These also four type: alternate, opposite, ternate, alternate. Okay, alternate, opposite, ternate, alternate. These are the four types of phylloxy. Okay, what is that? Alternate, opposite, ternate, alternate. Okay, these are the four types of phylloxy. Then we are going to learn about the types of phylloxy in detail. Okay. Now we are going to see about leaf mosaic. Leaf mosaic is nothing but in some plants while you touching you feel some moisture like structure, that is called as mosaic leaves. Okay. So in leaf mosaic leaves tend to fit in with one another and adjust themselves in such a way that they may secure the maximum amount of sunlight with minimum amount of overlapping. So here what is the use of it is avoid the sunlight. Okay, we can't able to control the sunlight in heavy like this afternoon time. Okay, so here similarly, so these like type of plants avoid to sunlight only, the mosaic leaves tend is formed. Okay, for the example Agalipa, look at this picture carefully. This is a Agalipa plant. This is example for leaf mosaic plants. Okay, look at this picture carefully. This is a two type of the plant. First one is simple leaf, second one is compound leaf. Do you understand the difference between them? Here single leaf only is there, but here many leaf but togetherly attached, togetherly joined it. Okay, these are the compound leaf. Okay, can you understand difference between two? First of all, simple leaf. A leaf is said to be simple when the petiole bears a single lamina. Lamina may be entire. Example, mango is a best example for the simple leaf. Then compound leaf. Compound leaf is one of each. The main radius bears more than one lamina surface called leaflets. Compound leaves have evolved to increase total lamina surface. There is one axillary bud in the axil of the whole compound leaf. The leaflets, however, do not possess axillary buds. Okay, these are the definition of simple leaf and compound leaf. Can you understand while you are seeing this picture? This is a single picture. In simple leaf there is no any other adaptation, but in compound leaf have lot of adaptation. Okay, these are the differentiate between simple leaf and compound leaf. Okay, now we are going to see about leaf type. The pattern of division of a leaf into discrete component or segments is termed as leaf type. Okay, this leaf type also very important, because according to leaf type only we are arranged in the taxonomy. Okay, so leaf structure is very important to arrangement of the taxonomy. Types of component leaf. Okay, pinnately component leaf and palmately component leaf. In before also similar word only came. Pinnately radical venation, pinnately parallel venation, palmately radical venation, palmately parallel venation. Coming the same similar word only. Okay, so according to this name only you can understand. Okay, so pinnately compound leaf. What is that? Unipinnate, bipinnate, tripinnate, decompound. Okay, these are the classification of pinnately compound leaf. Then in palmately compound leaf, unifoliate, biofoliate, trifoliate, then quadrifoliate, then multifoliate or digitate. These are the these are the types of the palmately compound leaf. Okay. Now we are going to see the in detail. Unipinnately is nothing but the radius is simple and unbranched, which bears leaflets directly on its sides in alternate or opposite manner. Rose is the best example for the unipinnate. Then these unipinnate also classified two types. One is peripinnate and another one is imparipinnate. Peripinnate means evenly that leaflets are even in number, but here leaflets are odd in number. This is a major difference between them. Then here the next one is bipinnate. Here the primary radius produce secondary raceme which bear the leaflets. The secondary raceme are known as pinnae. The number of pinnae varies depending on the species. For the example, Deloxy is the best example for that. Then decompound. When the radius of leaf is branched several times, it is called decompound. Okay. So this is the best example for Daucus is the best example for the decompound. Then after palmately decompound leaf. First one is unifoliate. Unifoliate is nothing but when a single leaflet is articulate to the petiole is said to be unifoliate. For the example, citrus leaf. Do you see the citrus leaf? Simply fold. Oh, that is a unifoliate. Okay, bifoliate means two type of fold is there. When there are two leaflets articulately to the petiole, it is said to be the bifoliate. Example, Zonia diphylla. Zonia diphylla is the best example for the biofoliate. Okay, bifoliate. Then trifoliate means here three leaflets articulately fold. That is called as trifoliate. Best example is wood apple is the best example for it. Then quadrifoliate, there are four leaflets articulately to the petiole. It is said to be the quadrifoliate. Example, Paris and Mauricelia. It's a best example for the quadrifoliate. Okay. So here these differentiate between differentiate based on the foliated. Okay, so it's easily you learn. First you should learn the name only. After then you learn the differentiator or definition. Okay. Then finally multifoliate or digitator. 5 or more leaflets are joined and spread like fingers. That is called as multifoliate or digitate. Okay. Do you understand? Look at this picture. These are the one of the example for common leaf. First picture is a peripinnate. Second picture is a imparipinnate. What is the definition of peripinnate and imparipinnate? Here peripinnate leaves number of leaves is a even number, but here number of leaf is a odd number. That is a major difference between peripinnate and imparipinnate. Okay. Can you mention any difference between it? These also example for the compound leaf. First one is decompound. Second one is tripinnate. Okay. This also one of the example for the compound leaf. While you see this picture, can you understand the differentiate between it according to this definition? Try it. Okay. Now modification of leaf. Root also gets some modification. Stem also gets some modification. Here leaf also get some modification. Now we are going to see about that. The main function of the leaf is food preparation by the photosynthesis. Leaves modified to perform some specialized function are they. What is that? First is leaf tendrils, then leaf hooks. Third one is leaf spines or prickles. Fourth one is storage leaves, spiral dots, pitcher, then bladder, floral leaves. Okay, these are the modification of the leaf. First of all, the leaf dendrils in some plants stem is very weak and hence they have some special organs for attachment to support. So, some leaves are partially or wholly modified into tendril. Tendril is a cylinder wirely coiled structure which help is climbers in the support. So leaf tendrils of main function is support. Then leaf hookers. In some plants, leaves are modified into hook-like structure and help the plant to climb. So here also the leaf hookers also help to give the some support. Okay, these hookers climb to the bark of a tree and act as organs of support for climbers. The leaf spines of asparagus also act as hookers. Asparagus is the best example for the leaf hooks. Then leaf spines or prickles. Leaves of certain plants develop spinal structure. So here prickles are small sharp structure. Small sharp structure, underline that word, which are the outgrowth from epidermal cells of stem or leaf. It helps the plant scrambling over the other plants. So these all are the leaf tendrils, leaf hookers, leaf spinals or prickles, all are help to support. Best example, rosa sap. That is the best example for prickles. Then storage leaves. While study the secondary function of the leaves, we learn it. Some secondary function is the storage of leaves. Some plants of saline and xerophytic habitats. Xerophytic habitat is nothing but that is a plant habitat maturity. And members of the family commonly have fleshy or swollen leaves. These succulent leaves store water, mucilage or food material. Such storage leaves resist desiccation. For the example, aloe, agave, bryophyllum. So these are the example for storage leaves. While you cut the aloe vera leaf, you can see the some water substance. Okay. So these are the storage leaves. Then spiral dot. Spiral dot or flat green color leaf like modification of petioles or rhizome. So the best example for the spiral dot, acacia, then Parkinsona is a best example for that. After that, pictures. So the leaf becomes modified into the picture in Nepenthes and Sarracenia is the best example for it. In Nepenthes, the basal part of the leaf is laminar and the midrib continues as a coil dendril structure. The apical part of the leaf is modified into the pincher. The mouth of the pincher is closed by a lid, which is the modification of leaf apex. Okay. So then blader. This blader also gives some structures like a modification with a trap door entrance that traps aquatic animalcules. Okay, this is help to the floating or slightly submerged plant common in many water bodies. Some plants live in the water bodies, so that like plants should have the floating capacity. For that only bladers. Then floral leaves. Some leaves should be change the color, that is called the floral leaves. Floral part such as sepal, petals, stamens or carpels are modified leaves. Sepals and petals are leafy. They are project in function and considered non-essential reproductive parts. So here the projection, the non-essential reproductive parts. So some leaf parts modify the sepal, petals, stamens, carpels like that. So this is a floral leaves. Then leaf duration. We are going to see about the leaf duration.
Leaf duration. According to the leaf duration, taxonomy will be present. Therefore, leaf duration also very important. Leaf duration is nothing but period of the leaf life. Okay. Leaves may stay and function for a few days to many years, laterally determined by the adaptations to climatical condition. These leaf duration based on the climatical condition. So based on leaf duration, there is a 4 types. First one is Caudacasus. Second one is Deciduous. Third one is Evergreen, Margescent. Okay. So first one is caudaces failing on soon after formation. For the example, cycas. Okay, this is a very best example for caducuses. Then deciduous, falling at the end of growing season so that the plant is leafless in winter, summer season. For the example, maple. Maple is a best example for deciduous, then evergreen. According to the name, we can understand what is meant by evergreen. Leaves persist throughout the year, falling regularly so that tree is never leafless. For the example, calopilum. Calopilum is the best example for the evergreen leaf plant. Final one is margescent. Margescent is nothing but it's a leaves not falling but withering on the plant as in several members of Faecacia. Faecacia is the best example for the margescent. Okay, so these are the four types of leaf according to the leaf duration. Okay, in this chapter we learn lot of information about especially leaf. What is meant by leaf? What are the characteristics of leaf? What are the functions of leaf? We learn it. What is the characteristics? First of all, leaf is a evergreen portion. Leaf have a chlorophyll, and leaf is a function of photosynthesis, transpiration, gaseous exchange, projection of birds, conduction of water and dissolved solution. These are the primary function of leaves. Then storage, projection, support, reproduction. These are the secondary function of the leaf. Then we learned part of the leaf. After we learn the modification, then venation. What are the types of venation? Reticular venation and parallel venation. Then leaf mosaics. After then leaf types. What are the types of leaf? Simple leaf and compound leaf. Okay. Then modification of the leaf. Some leaf modification like the function of storage. Then leaf hooks, leaf tendrils, leaf pins or done the support function. Then after the bladder, floral leaves, these are the special function of the leaf. Then we learned leaf duration. So according to the leaf duration, the taxonomy will be present. Therefore, leaf duration also very important to the leaf. Okay. Now is your homework time. Describe the characteristics of leaf and function of it. And what are the types of leaf? Then describe the modification of leaf and type of leaf. These are your homework. Study well. Write 1 times each question. Okay. So this is your homework. Remember it. Do your homework properly.